We all know the famous commercial In the Arms of an Angel with the dogs with the sad eyes and Sarah McLachlan urging us to donate our 5 cents a day. Maybe some of us see that commercial and change the channel. Maybe some of us even laugh at just how bad it is. But changing the commercial or laughing at it keeps us from realizing the truth. The truth that 2.7 million dogs and cats are killed each year just because there's not enough homes for them. Therefore, we need to start adopting instead of shopping for our furry friends to save their lives.
I will start by talking about the need for a forever home for these animals. Many animals in this county and even across the nation are suffering at shelters and need our love and help. The problem is that shelters are overcrowded with animals waiting to be adopted, but there aren't enough people willing to adopt, so they are being killed to make room for incoming animals. According to humanesociety.org, each year over 2.7 million cats and dogs in the U.S. are euthanized. This is because more and more pets are coming into shelters and there are not enough people willing to adopt. The number of euthanized animals could go down drastically if more people will consider adopting their next pet instead of buying one. When adopting, you are saving an animal and giving it a loving home and opening up a spot at the shelter for another animal who might desperately need it.
I'm sure all of us here feel for these animals but aren't quite sure what we can do if we're unable to adopt. Don't worry, there's still ways we can help. If you're unable to adopt a pet, then fight against the puppy mills. As much as all of us want to gather up all these poor little animals and take them home with us, it may not be possible for us to do right now. However, we can speak out and educate our families and friends against the statistics in animal shelters and to discourage them from going to a breeder or puppy mill. If people adopt from shelters instead of purchasing from a breeder, humane societies spay and neuter the pets for them and keep the animals up on their vaccines for future owners. According to PETA, around 70,000 puppies and kittens are born every day, and there's definitely not enough homes for them. Adopting a pet already helps lowers the number in shelters, but also if you adopt a pet who is spayed or neutered, it helps lower the numbers even more. And by adopting, you've also saved hundreds of dollars versus going to a breeder. We just need to speak up, educate our personal communities about how many animals die in shelters, share posts on social medias from our local humane society, and share articles about how bad puppy mills and breeders are.
As you can see, it isn't difficult to speak up about puppy mills and to educate others about why adopting is better than buying. Adopting a pet is also a lot cheaper than buying one. Adopting a pet would cost you around $0 to $350, and to buy one, it would cost you $500 to $1,500. If more people were educated about why adopting is better than buying their next pet, abandoned animals would have homes and it would open up more room in shelters for other animals that desperately need it. You would also gain a loving pet and a lifelong companion. More adoptions would also help lower the euthanization rates of animals, and you would not be supporting the abuse and neglect that goes on at puppy mills. If you were to buy a pet from a breeder, pet store, or even online, you would be spending hundreds of dollars in supporting puppy mills. Animals that are bred in puppy mills live in poor conditions and have improper medical care. They could get all kinds of illnesses like kennel cough, blood disorders, and heart disease. Many of the older female dogs that are used for breeding are always locked up in a cage and have no human interaction or companionship. Once they are no longer able to breed, they are either killed, abandoned, or sold at auctions. Adoption leads to overcrowding in shelters that leads to more animals being killed each year because there is no place for them.
As we can all see, there is something we can do to help the homeless animals find a home. We've learned about the 2.7 million animals dying because there's no place for them. We know now that if we're unable to adopt, then there are still ways we can help by speaking out against puppy mills and breeders. If we continue to ignore this problem, more animals will continue to suffer. It's time we become proactive by encouraging adoption instead of breeders. And don't worry, we don't have to sing in the arms of an angel this time. You can find the Humane Society for Southwest Washington on Facebook, give it a like, and start sharing their posts with your friends and family. Let's help our companions find their forever home.